G'day guys, James here from Mandurah Outboards. Going to walk you through today the Quintrex 460 Renegade side console. Mandurah Outboards has been a Quintrex dealer for probably the past 3 to 4 years, and the 460 Renegade side console has fast become one of our most popular Quintrex models that we sell through our dealership. Why is that, you may ask? Well, the 460 is great for both inshore and offshore applications. Whether you're just going out with or by yourself or just one or other person, the boat's nice and easy to handle. You know, I myself with a ramp today will be able to launch the boat quite easily just by myself. If I'm taking a friend or two, nice and easy to handle the boat ramp. When you're in inshore conditions, nice and easy. You know, if you're down in Mandurah or on the Swan River, or no matter sort of where you are up the WA coast, if you're looking to sort of just cruise local waters, if you're looking to just tailor, herring, mullet, that sort of stuff in inshore conditions, nice and easy boat to handle and nice and easy to move around and just deal with in inshore conditions. At the same time, if you are looking ahead 5, 10, 15 kilometres offshore, on those days you get some nice southeasterly or easterly winds, the 460 comes standard with the Renegade offshore motor well, which means you reduce your risk of water coming through the back of the transom. The transom's nice and high, so if you're reversing up on fish or you're just out in a bit of slop, there's very limited opportunity for water to come through the back of the transom. At the same time, look at that depth. We'll go out in the boat a little bit later on and you'll see how deep the boat is up into my knees, and I'm probably 5'11", 6 foot, and I feel nice and safe out in the water even if I'm offshore. Now, the 460, like all Renegades, comes standard on a Quintrex aluminium trailer. They're mint, people love them. Aluminium I-beam, nice and solid, keep salt out. The 420 Renegade comes on your C-channel aluminium trailer, but from your 440 right through to your 530 Renegade, aluminium I-beam trailer. That's standard, winch is standard, and all of our Renegades, that Quintrex famous blade hull. Nick can get a nice zoom in there of that blade hull. It just, the boat rides on that confused false wash. We'll go out in the water later and show you guys how it works. It's a very soft, dry riding hull, and that's what Quintrex has been doing for a number of years, and that's what they're famous for. They just ride on that confused wash, push the water away, and it's a happy, safe day boating. The way this Renegade's packaged up is pretty much as standard as you'd probably want to take it. That's sort of what we do at Mandurah Outboards. So, bimini, which collapses up and tows like so. That's a great way to tow. If you're doing short distance towing, no longer than probably 5 to 10 minutes in the car, or 5, 10, 15 minutes in the car. If you are doing longer trips and it's pretty windy, you want to lay that bimini the whole way down or the whole way forward, and we can show you how to do that when you pick up your new Renegade. The bimini sock is standard. That just keeps things nice and compact, tidy, stays away, looks good. Okay, our other options that sort of just what's sort of standard and what you'd need to get out in the water. Lowrance sounder, 7-inch, we usually run a 7 or 9-inch Elite TI, VHF radio, bimini as I mentioned, couple of seats, and we package this up with a bit of safety gear. You're sort of on the water in a 460 Renegade for between 35 and 37,000, depending on how you package them up, whether it be with a Mercury 60 horsepower 4-stroke or a Merc 75 horsepower 4-stroke. If you're boating by yourself or with 1 or 2 other people, the 60 horsepower command thrust is a mint way to go. Like, that's plenty of horsepower. You do well over 20 knots up on the plane to get out to your fishing spots or just doing whatever you want to do. If you're taking maybe 3 to 4 adults, heavier people, maybe a kid or 2 on board as well, you probably want to look to go to the 75 horsepower. And if you are doing a bit more offshore work, you might want to go to the 75 horsepower as well. That's when you definitely get into your 30 knot range. If you get into a bit of slop and a bit of trouble, then you can power up over the top with that 75 horsepower, and that's a mint way to go. So we're going to hop in the boat now and take you through it, just show you sort of what goes on in a 460 Renegade and what else we can do. Okay, up front, standard on all Renegades, rotor molded anchor well. When you buy a Renegade from Mandurah Outboards, we give you an anchor pack, whether it be 6, 8, 10 pound with anchor rope and chain, depending on what size Renegade you've got, that sits in there quite nicely. Also got underfloor storage underneath here, underneath our feet, with the wings on the side as well for ample storage. A great place to keep your safety equipment. Again, if you get a safety grab bag, you can put your life jackets, flares, fire extinguishers, whatever you want in there, and that sits nicely up the front. Also an extra seat position at the front. On the 460 Renegades, generally all your dealers will provide you with 4 seat positions. So 2 at the rear, one sort of forward midship, and then another one at the bow of the boat as well. So if you're sitting, you can sit up the front, you can flick lures, you can jig, do whatever you want up front here. But the casting platform is ideal for those guys in inshore conditions. If you're right up north, say in WA, whether it be Broome, Derby, Karratha, Headland, those sorts of places, you can fight the whole fish by walking the whole boat, and yeah, it's just easier done than rather on a standard runabout. So you can really utilise the whole boat. Now, another thing that we do quite often on Renegades as well now, and especially on the 460, is min coders and motor guides. We're starting to fit a lot of 12 volt and 24 volt systems. So they're sort of like your 54 pound systems and your 80 pound systems. So we put them on the front with our bow mount thruster bracket, and then if we're running a 12 or 24 volt system, we'll put our battery in front like so in our storage compartment here, and then we'll also fit a battery isolator switch, circuit breaker, and make things look really nice and professional and tidy. The guys in the workshop do an absolute mint job. So lately, a lot of boats have gone further south and further north, where you get sort of maybe stronger winds, you know, stronger conditions, stronger tides, especially for those guys sort of in Karratha, Jarrow, Headland, as I mentioned earlier that way. If you're getting really strong tides up there, probably recommend a min coder or motor guide 80 pound 24 volt system. Your spot lock works mint, and if you lock onto a spot and you hook, you know, you get a bit more aggressive fish up that way. So your GTs, your snappers and things like that, mackerels, you can literally spot lock and fight your fish and work the whole boat. Just makes life a little bit easier. It's all about making it a little bit easier. So min coders and motor guides are a very popular way to go, and we supply both products in store. The other option as well is craypot winches. So a lot of people down this way love their crayfishing, you know, crayfish, western rock lobster, whatever you want to call it. We do just your standard Anchor Max or Maxwell winch, whatever you want to do. That's when you run your capstan in the side of the extruded decks there, and we put it with a foot switch as well, so you can, you know, if you've got a mate or two you want to go crayfishing with and you want to take it offshore and do the craying, you might be a bit sore on the shoulder, and you might want to use a cray winch to your advantage. So there's your standard capstan style, or at the same time you can use one of old mate's winches from Tasmania, one of those RL welding arms which you may have seen. Fitted a few of them, so we sort of brace the side of the side deck and the hull, brace the floor, and it's got a nice big swing arm, so quite literally you can pull your pot up with a foot switch, and then you actually swing it around onto your deck and can deal with your crays on the deck. So this is what we've spoken about, is a bit of a standard boat, and then you've also got your options of your min coders, your motor guides, and then also pot winches as well. You know, you can also add more rod holders and whatnot, but that's sort of how we sort of spruce them up to the max that way. As we work our way back, couple of rod holders either side, 4 on the boat as standard, 2 at midship, 2 at the rear. Underfloor fuel tank on the 460 Renegade, underfloor fuel tank, just from memory, around 70 to 77 litres. Nick will put the specs up on the screen, so you can pause and have a look at that, the specs on the 460 Renegade. But underfloor fuel tank, regular 91 fuel with your Merc as well. Don't have to do 95, just regular 91. VHF radio, all in just one handpiece now. How easy is that? Power button turns it on. Emergency channel, channel 16. Easily just slides away like so, not congested. Drink holder for your bottle of water. We just generally package these up from the factory with Lowrance. They're a great value for money unit, the Elite TIs. We run a 7-inch screen here. You can do a 9, a 12. If you want to do Simrad, Garmin, any brand, we can supply and install that as well. So that's where we're seeing all of our GPS and sounder information. And then we've got our Mercury vessel view screen. So you can run as standard your analog gauges, which are just speedo, tacho, sort of trim, fuel, and an hour gauge as well. Alternatively, we run it all in the nice Vessel View 4 screen. Now the benefit of the Vessel View 4 is that where you can see your fuel flow. So you're seeing everything from your speed to your revs, to your engine hours, to your volts, to fuel tank sort of quantity or percentage you've got left as a capacity, but also your fuel burn. So you can see what you're burning, litres per hour, kilometres per litre, and bits of other data as well through the Vessel View 4 screen, and that's nice and compact. You've got your switches for your navigation lights, port and starboard and anchor light are standard, bilge pump standard, and an alternate accessory switch there if you'd like to isolate power for maybe a Waco fridge or something else electronic, maybe some undergunnel lights that you might want to add into the boat later on. You can isolate with a spare accessory switch. That's our nice Mercury control box. They're nice and easy to operate, just for neutral reverse. Nothing complicated about them, like so. And then if I work my way to the back of the boat, Nick and I might swap spots. Battery down the back. And then that's how I'm getting access to my bilge pump. So I've got bilge pump down the back and also live bait tank pump. Live bait tank, standard in all your Quintrex Renegades. So if you're doing a bit of squidding or a bit of fishing, you want to fish with liveys, there's your live bait tank, okay? Both pumped underneath the floor and are serviceable. So that's your 460 Renegade. Actually, another quick point I'll make out, easy to walk under this bimini. We'll see a little bit later on when it's fully extended, easy for me to walk under. You know, as I said, I'm 5'10", 5'11", easy to walk under. So that's really our 460 Renegade. As I said, great in both inshore and offshore conditions.